everybody. I know I've been sporadic, but I've been all over the place. So it's been a tough time. I still got videos to edit and stuff. It's just been very, very busy. But I did watch this, and I wanted to give it enough time, so I'll probably upload this probably by like Tuesday. I'm on the road even now. So, the movie Damsel. Now, I'm going to keep this really, like, pretty much spoiler-free. But with the cast, they had a very strong cast. I want to get that up with, like, Ray Winston playing the dad. Excuse me. You had Millie Bobby Brown. And then you had, Robin Wright, who played the queen, and then Sheree Agudashlo, who played the voice of the dragon, and it was instantly recognizable. And it did that. Like, so she was the voice. Now, I can't remember the other two cast members' name right now since I'm on the road. But the other dude, I've seen him and stuff, the one that plays the prince and everything. So, I know I've seen some people say, oh, this was like Girl Boss, whatever. To me, it wasn't, per se. And like Angela Bassett, who plays the stepmom and stuff, Angela Bassett, per usual, she brings it. Sometimes, to me, her performance, she'll like overdo it, but that's because Angela Bassett I feel like she takes it serious, very, very, very serious every time, and sometimes it doesn't. But this one, it fit because she was kind of like this loving mom and stuff. Like, I like the way she did it. She was like the queen, but she wasn't like this, I am the queen, hear me roar. She was kind of like that kind of queen. And Miss Wright was like kind of wild with this too. Now, the concept of Damsel is pretty freaking sweet. I like the idea, like, on why, and if you couldn't tell, from the trailer, so sorry, any of these spoilers I'm talking about is really more from the trailer with a little bit of here and there. In the trailer, like, you see this, Millie Bobby Brown gets thrown in or whatever, but actually, what I liked is that they did more a show than tell you that her character was a strong, caring character for Millie Bobby Brown's princess, Elodie. And how they did it, which I thought was good, was like the first time you see her, she's doing something strong. And you can tell she cares about her people and things like that. And I'm like, okay, they're establishing right away that she's one of those, good princess people. She does things for the people. And, with the prince and everything. And then as time progresses, you learn some different stuff. And with the cast, and they had, like I said, a pretty strong cast. Like, even though the prince, I've seen him and stuff, I just can't remember his name right now. Her little sister was actually, to me, very good as well. So you could definitely see the camaraderie between her and her sister. The way they did Angela Bassett's queen was very interesting too, because she was trying to connect, but didn't feel like it was like a total disconnect or anything. It was just the way they interacted, which was good. I kind of, if I were to say a critique, I think they could have stuck a little bit longer with the family, with Millie Bobby Brown's family, just to kind of put a little bit more connection to them. Angela Bassett's character was very connected to them, but like with the paternal thing, I think they could have dug a little deeper. Like, it wasn't like it was bad, it was just that they could have did more. And when they showed the new house and stuff like that, it felt like Robin Wright, her queen, it was like a switch, and it was fine for what she did, but it was also a little jarring because she went from like being one way to another, but she played both parts very well, of I'm kind of kind and stuff, but maybe I'm not as kind as you think. And you could tell there was something bubbling under the surface, so that was good. But I felt like this is the part where the writing could have taken a little bit more time to like have her unfold and have everything unfold. But they spent a good amount of time with the prince and princess or whatever. But I will say that like 80% of this movie takes place in, which was kind of cool, in a cave. With that, in that aspect, what I did like, it kind of played up like a horror movie. A lot of times she was being hunted, she was running, and you know, you start to see how she tries to get around, how she tries to survive, how she tries to do everything. And I actually thought that the cave was pretty cool and very well done. Now, there were some very convenient plot pieces that I can definitely say were necessary, but because of how they did it, it made it a little oddly convenient. Like, there's some information that she needs to get, and the way she gets it, it's like, I guess because it's supposed to be a magical world, I guess that's why. I don't know. And it was one of those moments where I was like, wait, what? Kind of like literally, but I was like, all right, cool. The dragon, my personal opinion, was definitely the best thing in the movie. The dragon was interesting. The way the dragon did the fire, which I like, that it kind of almost looked like a fire lava kind of thing. And I thought that was very well done. And what Elodie had to do to like deal with this dragon and how they did everything, I thought the story panned out. On another note, the movie is a little predictable. Some of it is, the journey wasn't bad though, but like from the trailer, I even seen people, including myself, like I picked up on it, but I even seen people saying, oh, this is what's going to probably happen towards the end. I bet this is going to happen. And when you see it, you're like, yeah. But the journey wasn't horrible to get there. Outside of internal monologue, a lot of the movie also has Millie Bobby Brown like grunting and like screaming and dealing with a lot of just of the situation at hand. And as much as they had, and I definitely appreciated what she did as a character, and I was feeling like I was journeying with her as a character, I think they could have done a little bit more on stuff, like her talking and interactions. Like, I think they, even though I think the cave stuff was amazing, the cave, the CG to me was fine and everything, I felt like they could have taken a little bit more time. Maybe just a couple minutes to kind of show more of a connection with the family and kind of to tell a little bit more. So overall, I think it was a simplistic story, a very safe story though, and I think they were a little afraid to take risk, and I get it, but it wasn't bad. So like it wasn't like where I was like, oh my gosh, rolling my eyes, girl balls. Like, I felt as though she was a strong female lead for what she did, how they survived, and how they were playing this stuff up. And even the story between like Elodie and the dragon, like I thought, which actually I think as a book title that would be a good name, but like how they were interacting with each other, the cat and mouse game, that whole thing was great. Overall, I still think it was really good. I liked Angela Bassett's character, how you saw her stuff, her little sister. Another thing, they like kind of did this one moment where it was a little odd because you didn't know what was going on, and then you seen like a character later, but it was like, wait, why was that character there? It was just for that. Like, there was nothing. It was a little, it made sense, but they could have added a little more. So in a lot of places, I think they could have added more. What they gave us was not a bad film, though. It was simplistic. It was, it's something that you could kind of turn on and you could kind of like do while you might be having to do something, wash the dishes, or you could just sit down and say, hey, I just want a quick, easy to digest, not really have to turn my brain on kind of thing, and just watch. Because you start turning your brain on, you'll start picking things apart, even though they had some stuff. And it was like kind of like a little nugget into this world. They probably could explore the world a little bit more, but for now, it was like, all right, here's some stuff. We got some things. Get in, get out. So, as a rating wise, I would say that overall I had a good time. Right? It was. I mean, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was, fine. The thing is that it's not a movie that after you're done with it, you're going to be like, man, and just start mowing it over. Like, the most I thought about was the dragon. And I actually did, like, Millie Bobby Brown actually showed a lot of prowess with action. That's another thing. It kind of reminded me, action-wise, of Joey King's Princess, which I don't think I ever reviewed that movie. Hers was a little bit nuts to me. Maybe I have to one day remember, if I remember, I'll review that movie. But it showed me a range that Millie could actually pull off action. Like, all the action and stuff, completely convinced. It didn't feel like it was out of place with her, at least my personal opinion. The things that she was doing, how she was surviving as a character, I was actually very into all of that. I think the meat of the movie, when it comes to the cave and that stuff, I actually enjoyed every second of that, between her, Elodie, and the dragon. So, like I said, I had a good time with it. That's pretty much it. Tell me what you think in the comments if you watched it. I thought, like I said, overall, it was fine. Like, it's good, digestible fun. Geek Protagonist, you stay safe, you stay healthy, stay real. And I'll see you.